Cup USA. Scotland have failed to qualify. The remnants of our qualifying crusade lie scattered like the bleached bones of a single fish, washed down by a bitter wine of sour grapes vintage. As it is, and for Scotland always will be, despair begins at home.
Yes, this is totally me, Chick Young, standing where I was, which is over there. Hampden Park, Valhalla, the El Dorado of false bravado, the Camelot of catastrophe. Well, tonight, our lot take on Holland, the Netherlands. Pay, ba, nicht points. Juliana's crown jewels, the old Dutch grandmasters, the fathers of William. Of course, I'll be supporting Scotland. But of course, this is no ordinary game. This is in fact a very special game because what's at stake is absolutely nothing. So, Scotland must be in with a chance. Craig Brown, El Supremo, a great night indeed perhaps, the all new, except for some bits, Hampden Park. Holland, the visitors, a gala occasion for what promises to be the same as usual. Any thoughts, Craig, on what we might expect? Any surprises up your sleeve?
Well, Chick, this is the time for trying new things. It's the time for experimenting, and I'm looking forward to seeing Colin Henry on the pitch. He certainly looks like an experiment. And Gordon Jury, who had sort of faded from the international scene, but got right back in there.
By his application and dedication?
No, by joining Rangers.
Craig, your appointment came at a time when, let's be honest, criticism was mounting, albeit, in my opinion, unjustifiable, about events that were happening outside football, from within. But you, Craig Brown, tonight, here and now, promise us a bright new future and a new dawn of mediocrity for Scotland. Can we qualify for Europe?
Well, Chick, we're in Group 8. Personally, I'd have preferred Group 4. Then we'd be guaranteed an escape.
Okay, Craig, it's 10 to 8. The atmosphere is building up. You'll be wanting to go off and give the lads their team talk.
That's right. They should be arriving any minute.
Of course, tonight's been a special all-ticket sellout, apart from the front two rows, gala occasion. Scottish football's finest have turned up to see for themselves just how lovely the grand old lady of whatever bit of Glasgow this is looking these days. Yes, tonight, all roads lead to Hampden. I see Alex Cameron made it. And there's David Syme.
Well, you know, as you say, I think it's marvellous that Scotland are back in their ancestral home of Hampden Park because, well, you know, as I say, for me it was always a thrill to play here for my country. It was a thrill pulling on that dark blue jersey and getting gubbed all over the world. But, you see, as I say, what Scotland needs is a manager, a leader who can fight the nation, a man with a bit of charisma and dot of pizzazz, a colossus to lead us out of the soccer wilderness. And I think we finally got that with Craig Thingman.
Peter Hoekstra, Rangers star and of course a Dutchman in his own right. Peter, recently you presented Walter Smith with a play me or sell me ultimatum. Did the great Waldo take you out the back and give you a right good kicking for your cheek?
Well, for sure not. I want to play for Rangers. They're a good team, but I would like to play in World Cup because being Dutch, I am eligible to play for Holland.
I thought being the sons of William, everyone in the Rangers team was eligible to play for Holland. Of course, Pietro, Holland, the Orange Hombres are, for so many of us here in Scotland, our big World Cup hope. Can they maybe not bottle it this time?
Well, for sure. In past World Cup finals, Holland are so often the nearly team. As you say, always in the bridesmaid's dress and never the brides. And this is big disappointment, especially for Hans Hillhaus.
And what about here tonight, Keith? Fancy our chances? Or do you think Scotland will win?
Well, it is difficult to know because Holland has so many world-class players and Scotland have so many Scotland-class players. Even with so many missing, Holland still have some very, very good players. Rijkaard at the back and up front, Bergkamp and Roy. But if he plays, the big danger man for Scotland will be Brian Irvine.
If Holland don't get the result tonight, will that sound a warning for manager Dick Advocaat? Or am I talking a lot of balls?
I would say, Chick, yes, you are.
Thanks, Pizza. Different class. Gordon, Gogo, stop. I'd just like to know your thoughts on tonight's match.
Well, Chick, I think the Scottish game needs a radical rethink. After all, in the past we have done magnificent in qualifying, but if you look at England, well, they're vastly the same as us, so currently, in general, British football is in an abominable state. An abominable state.
Gordon McQueen, who of course went to Argentina but never played because he was severely crocked. A shrewd tactical selection from the man standing beside me now. Good to be back at Hampden, Ali?
Tremendous. Absolute delight.
So, Ali, why did you take Gordon McQueen to Argentina when he was a dud?
I used a bit of the old psychology, didn't I, you know? As long as he was in the squad, the rest of them knew there was at least one other player more useless than they were, you know?
And of course, tonight, Ali, Holland, a team you know all about.
Oh, aye, Holland, from the Netherlands, aren't they? I remember them well, you know. We beat them when we were the Argentines, slaughtered them 3-2, so we did. That was after we completely psyched in Peru and gave Iran a hell of a fright, you know. To be honest, you know, there were darker moments in the Argentine. I remember once Alto Grassi, wee Joe Harper, wanting to hang up his boots. I said to him, why hang up your boots? It's your shin pads that score the goals.
The talking over, for the time being at least, it's now time to savour the feast of football set before us.
What's your ticket, please?
Sorry?
Ticket?
Look, mate, I don't need a ticket. I'm here to do a report.
Oh, sorry, pal. No ticket, no admittance.
Hold on a minute. I've got accreditation.
Aye, but you need a ticket.
No, you don't. Look, listen.
Come on, pal.
What are you going?
Off you go. Come on.
Hold on a minute.
Thanks, Dale.
Listen, nobody gives me knockbacks. Not even at Vicky's. Gonna lift us over, mister? Gonna lift us over, mister? Gonna lift us over, mister?
And Hampden Park, Davy, I have to say, looking quite magnificent.
Hello, Archie. Yes, Archie. Well, Archie.
Sorry to interrupt you, Davy. You were saying?
I was just saying, hello, Archie. Yes, Archie. Well, Archie.
Sorry, Davy, to butt in again, but I can't help wondering, has Craig Brown got it right?
As right as you can ever hope to have it, given the circumstances, is the simple answer to that one, Archie.
Quite, Davy. Yes, absolutely. In fact, one can almost feel the sense of optimism quite literally oozing around us. And, Davy, I might be tempting fate, but I take Scotland to win tonight, and that's all down to preparation.
Well, that's correct. Earlier this year, Craig Brown brought through some of the younger players with a B international. What I'd like to see, though, is the introduction of Z internationals, so that some Hibs players could be given a chance.
And what is unquestionably a magnificent sight greets the teams as they come down the tunnel and onto the pitch with pinpoint accuracy. And the good news is that Scotland have made it from the dressing rooms to the park without picking up any injuries. Now, officially, this might be a friendly, but there's unquestionably no question of Holland not taking this match seriously. The Dutch know all about Craig Brown's managerial pedigree. They spent the day studying the videotapes of Clyde in the 1980s. So the stage is set for this magnificent Scottish football showpiece.
No, it's just not good enough. Davy Provan, I put it to you that the simple fact is we're just not good enough and certain players just don't try for Scotland.
Hello, Archie. Yes, Archie. Well, Archie, any players you particularly have in mind?
Well, not really. McStay, Boyd, Collins.
You surprise me, Archie.
All right, let me put it another way. Without in any way, and let's make that perfectly clear, without in any way casting aspersions on, or shall I say, the Irishness of a certain club, we need true 100% pedigree Scots, like, well, off the top of my head, the magnificent figure of, the majestic presence of the aye-ready captain of the glorious Glasgow Rangers, Richard Gough.
Well, no doubt about it, Archie. Richard Gough is a quality player.
Quality player? Davy, the man is a god. Necessary changes have been made, and quite simply, Richard Gough wants to play for his country.
Yes, Archie, but that's unlikely to happen as he's already played for Scotland.
And then up popped Brian Roy with a goal of Scott and his Betty and flukery to make it 1-0. Don't forget, it was only a friendly, nobody was really that bothered. But it's not all doom and gloom. I thought Ur Craig was quite superb throughout the 90 minutes. And if anyone slags him off, it'll be me and them square go, OK?
Alex Ferguson. Oh, Alex. What is it to say except, what is it to say?
Exactly, Chick. I mean, looking at it subjectively from an objective point of view, you can't help but worry about a World Cup future in the years to come. I suppose a British side could be a good idea, in terms of qualification, but of course, there'll be people dead against that idea.
Who, for example?
Stuart McKimmie. Favorite person.
Can I just say something about Scottish football? It's an holistic sport. I might live in England, but I keep a close eye on what's happening up here. For example, I know that recently, at my old club, Rangers, they had an acupuncturist in to assist with treatment to injuries, a physiotherapist to assist players with fitness, and an anaesthetist to assist with Richard Gough's haircut. Now, I'm not telling anyone, like Craig Brown, who to pick, but we need leadership. And I'm sure all of Scotland would rally behind a haircut as mental as Richard's.
Dennis, disappointed or just very disappointed?
No comment. Except that, as you say, you're not actually making a comment, am I? In fact, a comment actually making.
Craig, gubbed, humped, slavered, scalped? Does this sort of constructive criticism help?
Well, Chick, what was most pleasing was the manner of our gubbing act. I felt we were gubbed with flair.
To be fair, Craig, you've never really had a settled side, have you?
Well, that's true, Chick. We've had tremendous problems to contend with. For example, in the period since I took over, we've had 57 call-offs.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and not one of them was Brian Irvine.
Craig, the fans would like to know by wanting me to ask, Richard Gough, give him a game.
Light.
Tremendous, I mean, I don't think you can criticise Scottish managers. Take Walter Smith, always a winner in every way. Willie Miller, always dedicated, demanding, with a never-say-die spirit. Scotland boss Craig Brown, always neatly turned out and polite, with his shoes well polished, his tie straight,
It makes me laugh. The Scottish fans are always quick to say the SFA never considers them. But why aren't they thanking us now for all the money we've saved them by not qualifying? And don't think that happened by accident. Thanks to our remarkable foresight in appointing men like Andy Roxburgh and Craig Brown, Scotland's stay-away fans now have a stay-away team to be proud of. But we must look ahead. And the SFA are already ignoring the World Cup and have come up with some revolutionary ideas that we feel will revolutionise our game. Pitches are a problem. Some of them have just too much grass. So we've been looking at a new synthetic substance. Astromud. Now, this will enable players to play in the right sort of conditions, even in summer. And we've been in discussion with Craig Johnson, who, if you remember, has invented the Predator football boot using rubber. Well, Craig has designed a prototype for Scottish football, which we also hope to introduce. There we are. Then there is the silencer boot. John Collins tested one and it worked superbly. When he scored for Celtic at Ibrox, you couldn't hear a sound. Even David Murray was strangely silent for once. There is, of course, no room for complacency, but no doubt about it. The domestic scene is in great nick.
On a brighter note, there's one good thing about the rot currently ravaging our game. It seems to have spread to England.
The game in England is much the same as it is in Scotland, only better. I like to think that the Scottish have something to do with that. I think that people like me, George Graham, and him at Man United, bring a bit of personality to the game. OK, so we lost out in the League Challenge. I won't be making any excuses, but Kevin Gallagher breaking his leg was a serious blow. But some people will do anything to avoid being picked for Scotland.
To be honest, the current problems we have totally unacceptable to a club of Tottenham side. I mean, everywhere in the country that now, you know, a lot for fans to stomach, and the failure of British team to qualify for World Cup make them to talk about, you know, putting the English, the Irish, the Welsh and the Scottish into one team. I personally think it's a good idea. After all, it worked for Jack Charlton.
En Angleterre, je ne comprends pas. En Écosse, c'est peut-être à cause de l'Alliance. Je comprends quelqu'un comme moi que c'est l'enfant terrible comme Darren Jackson. Alors, clairement. Je le fais pourquoi, mais j'aime tout le monde. Je suis un homme compassionné. J'ai compassion. Je crois que c'est très bon que beaucoup de gens sont allés au testimonial de Scott Nisbet. Même les supporters de Rangers qui ont de lui regardent chaque semaine. Bernard Tapie, son histoire sera en vidéo bientôt, une Swindler's List. Je m'intéresse au football écossais et je regarde les incidents à Colbury et Celtic lorsque les fans attaquent les footballeurs. C'est très mal. Pas bon parce que c'est le travail du football que les autres footballeurs. Je suis très heureux que c'était tant que Ferguson.
Well, you know, Eric Cantona is a marvellous player. In fact, Cantona reminds me of me because, you know, he's a bit of a rascal, you know. And, I mean, as you say, apart from the hair colouring and the height and the age difference and the nationality and the fact that we look nothing like each other, we could be twins. And what of our soccer soldiers who have sold their skills to a foreign bidder? What can the domestic dross learn from their Euro experiences?
May I be allowed to speak? As you know, Maurice did successfully play in France. And this helped considerably in his development, both as a footballer and author, as proved by his first work of fiction, his autobiography, Mo.
Voulez-vous rêver avec moi ce soir?
The success of this literary masterpiece placed Maurice in the same league as France's other giants, Zola, Proust, and Rimbaud.
No, Bill, Alan McAnally was in Germany.
Well, you know, as you may or may not be aware, I did in fact once actually play out in Italy for an Italian club, Torino. And of course, they were in the news recently when they were accused of providing call girls as prostitutes. That was grounds for their position. This does go on in Italy, which is very sad, but thankfully not here, where the only hoorin you get is Freddie of Dundee United.
Well, this is what it's all about, because the World Cup does bring enormous pressures on the management side, especially to the managers. Andy Roxburgh went because Scotland failed to qualify. Terry Yorath got the sack because Wales failed to qualify. Graham Taylor got the sack because England failed to qualify. And Billy Bingham got the sack because Northern Ireland failed to stop the Republic from qualifying.
Oh, a raiding off, it would have meant leaving Wraith Rovers. I did want the Northern Ireland job, but at the end of the day, it came down to money.
And the Northern Ireland FA wouldn't budge.
Exactly. And I couldn't afford to offer them any more. Of course, what about the Welsh? They appoint John Toshak, 1 game, gubbed. He resigns and goes back to Spain. That's so Irish, it's almost Scottish.
And of course, leaks in the aforementioned Welsh defence means that sadly, regrettably, the Copa Mundial will be minus one of the game's great pluses, because quite simply, he simply is that, and that is a man with old legs on his brilliant young shoulders, Ryan Giggs.
Oh yeah, I love it at United. I play the game I like to play. I score goals. I like awards. The team are great. Red's my favourite colour. My favourite place is Manchester. My best friend's Incy, but I have other friends outside the first team. Yeah, it's good, but it's not my whole life. The boss keeps me right, tells me everything I need to know, advises me, signs me up in 5-year contracts, that sort of thing. As far as I'm concerned, Manchester United is the biggest club in the world, and anything else is down.
What do you think when you hear AC Milan are set to offer £10 million for you?
Well, obviously, I'm very flattered that Mr. Milan thinks I'm worth it.
In buying Duncan Ferguson, Rangers had illustrated yet again their awesome spending power, as well as demonstrating the new non-sectarian image of their club by signing a non-Mason. While across the Great Divide, dithering and dramatically falling behind in the Financial League Two, Celtic's custodians were coming under increased pressure.
The situation's not good, but moves have to be made to make it more good, because Celtic mean a lot to me, and whether I'm here or not personally, I've got a new scheme that could be brought in and introduced to make sure the club makes the break-even figure at every home match. Force Lou Macari's backroom staff to pay at the gate.
That was bad. Awful. Disgraceful. I have to say my players, in fairness, were a bunch of big lasses out there today. I could have put out a Girl Guide select and seen a better display than these. But to be honest, I don't think we're as bad as some people are making out.
Hello. Oh, hello. The Royal Bank of Scotland. No, I'm sorry, we've cut back as much as we can. Yes, but it's not a good financial move to sell Galloway and Gillespie. Well, then we might have to start paying win bonuses. Well, if there's no money in that account, take some out of our Super Saver Tufty the Squirrel account. What done in that? No money to pay the players' wages.
Now more than ever, Celtic needed men with nerves of steel, but all they got was men with necks of brass.
So these are the three announcements. 1, Cambuslang is a reality. 2, there will no longer be a Celtic board. There will be 2 Celtic boards. And 3 is the immediate move to raise between £4 and £6 million to strengthen the financial position of the club. The formation by the pact of a new pressure group, Celts for any loose change. Jeffinor. No, not Jackanore. Jeffinor. They're a major European credit bank from the Cayman Islands. And what's more, they're Celtic-minded people. Jeffinor. G-T-F-I-N-O-R.
What we have today is a situation of we do not know what, because of we do not know why, for the purpose of we are not quite sure, by means of who knows whither in the realms of where, when and why. But I'm quite happy to answer these questions because that's the only way we ever learn anything. The pressure was back on Lou McCarry and the team. Hello, Lou. Yes, Lou. Well, Lou, David Proven here, Lou. And before we go, another poor season. And for me, this is all down to a genuine lack of quality players of quality.
Well, in fairness, Davy, I know money is required for new players, but I will say that these I have here are very adaptable. They can be just as ineffective in a number of positions. But in fairness, there are players at Celtic Park who I know have the club at heart. Peter Grant, he's a Celtic man through and through. And this is something I discussed with him when he was signing his last hour-to-hour contract.
It makes me sad. It makes me very sad. I'm quite pissed off. Last season's unrest was totally unacceptable for a club like Celtic. I'll never forget the New Year game. At the height of troubles, I could only watch in horror as a Mars bar was thrown at the director's box. Actually, it was just after that I got injured myself. I was trampled in a crush as Derek Johnson tried to grab the Mars bar.
That Ulster match was certainly a new experience. There was a lot of bad feeling, and you could feel the tension, or the hatred, if you like. It was most unpleasant. Then the boys left Lou McCarry in the dressing room and went out to face the Rangers fans.
Well, I didn't agree with the Ibrox ban. But I thought the Celtic board did all they could to resolve the situation. Rangers demanded 7,600 and Celtic offered them Rudy Vata.
Hello, Donald. Yes, Donald. Well, Donald, vandalism in any shape or form cannot be condoned, but there are those who feel that what Rangers did to combat this was not so much anti-vandal as simply anti-Celtic.
Good.
But I have to ask, what are the police doing while all this vandalism is going on?
Well, usually celebrating a Rangers victory with the rest of the fans.
Objection.
Sustained.
Quite. But don't you think the ban was a blatant slight against the thousands of decent Celtic fans?
I will admit it is a pity that in order to punish the guilty, we have to take it out on all of the Protestantly challenged. But, Davy, if you invite someone to your house and they destroy it, you don't invite them back.
Absolutely. And if you invite someone to your house and then nut them, you can't be keeping a very orderly house.
No,
but moving on, Donald, I think you'll possibly be the first to admit it's been a scandalous year for the club.
Well, this is true. We've had our alleged problems splashed all over the newspapers and the Sun. But we're not taking this lying down. Writs have been served and we plan to sue for slander.
The journalists who exposed stories about the players.
The historian who claimed King Billy was gay.
And finally, Donald, big plans for next season?
Yes.
Well, we've been watching events at Celtic Park and freely admit envy at their recent treble. Ireland's winning the Eurovision Song Contest for the third time in a row.
Aye, very good, Donald.
But seriously, success costs, so we're introducing a new scheme at Ibrox called the Loyal We're Putting Up the Prices Again bond scheme. And we're also introducing an Ian Ferguson Spot the Gob competition. First prize is a car provided by the Ian Skelly Group with the unique no surrender guarantee.
Donald, thanks very much.
The pleasure was yours, Davy.
Knocked in, pushed out, neat touch. Charnley looks menacingly at the St. Johnson number 2. Who feints. Sent back, pushed out, sent wide, passed back to, and it's headed in.
Sensational news, Archie. A quite stunning goal for Rangers.
Who scored the glorious little goal for Rangers?
Who else, Scott? None other than, you said it, Chris Vinicum. So that makes it Rangers with bibs 1, Rangers without bibs 0, in this superb training match.
Oh, yes, Dick Donnelly here at a rather Greek, drizzly, dull, deadly Dens Park, Dundee, where the good news for Jim Duffy's men is that Jim Duffy failed a fitness test and isn't playing. And as if that isn't enough to have the Dens Park dissidents thronging back in their handfuls, just a few seconds ago, Dusan Fortu got on the end of the usual mix-up between Neil Berry, Craig Levine, Alan McLaren, Gary Mackay and John Robertson, won the obligatory wrestling match with Tosh McKinley, rounded the unfortunate Henry Smith, then with only himself to beat, Dusan blasted the ball into the stand where it scalped Wallace Mercer on the dish, much to the delight of everyone in Scottish football. So, back to the studio. We're on just as I speak to you. It's drama, high drama at Dens. A chip poke has blown onto the park and into the Hearts goal ball, but the linesman has his flag up. The poke was offside, and in fact, as I speak, our World Cup whistler, Les Mottram, is booking the chip poke for coming on without permission. Well, I think a case of the referee overreacting. Surely a stern talking to would have done.
Look, the man is a
Hold on. Just a minute. Wait a minute. Were you at the game today?
Oh, wasn't he the game today?
Hello, caller. Yes, caller. Well, caller, that is a quality question, caller.
Look, I'm entitled with my opinion.
That's all very well, caller, but what I want to know is, caller, what are the police doing?
Rubbish.
Well, fair dues. It's all about opinions and you're entitled to yours, even if it's rubbish.
Were you at the game today?
Aye, but
Just with respect, shut up. I just call it as I see it through blue-tinted spectacles.
It's obvious which side of the divide you come from.
There, what did I tell you?
I categorically deny that is a falsehood. I challenge you to write in. I will meet you in this programme. I deny categorically that I was jumping up and down like a maddie at my son's football match. Were you at the game today?
But not all discussion is so reasoned.
join me tonight on Sport in Question, where my guests are Richard Corsie, the World Indoor Bowls Champion, Tom McKean, the Bells Hill Bullet, top British show jumper Fenella Haversham Fanshawe, and Ross Matheson, Scotland's #1 tennis player. And we'll be discussing the future of Celtic. Sport in Question at the slightly later time of 2:30 a.m.
You've just made the best possible start to match day by joining us on Extra Wine. Coming up later, Ken McRobb and his amazing technical waistcoat, plus the best racing tips from Scotland's top tipster, Davy Cooper. But first, Paul Cooney with all the latest football headlines. Paul. Thanks, Jenny. Paul Cooney here with all the latest football headlines for all you football fans on the way to the matches, carrying a portable television set. The SFA are to launch a probe into a recent proposal to exhume the bodies of 24 nuns from a disused graveyard in Edinburgh. They say this is not permissible, no matter how desperate Hibs are for supporters. Jim. Well, Jerry, that's Paul Dunn, the wee Diddy stories. What's the big exclusive this lunch then?
Well, Jim, without giving anything away, this week's exclusive is very exclusive indeed.
Hold on, Jerry. Just how exclusive are we talking about here?
Very exclusive.
That exclusive, Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jerry, speak to you later. Still to come on Extra Wine, Tommy Burns doing well. For a Tim.
Well, it is written that it's a great, great thrill and a great, great honour to be manager of Kilmarnock and to work with a bunch of players I've admired since I was a child. Amen. But I stick with what I've said. In accordance with the scriptures, Scottish football will eventually be in a par with the Irish League, but only if we show some real improvement very soon.
While Jerry has been taking the roads and miles to Bonnie Dundee for a laid-back chat with Mr. Cool himself, the Perry Comatose of Scottish football, Ivan Golak. And the first thing they talked about was Dundee United's victory over Rangers in the Scottish Cup final. But we've edited all that out.
I know exactly what you're saying, but, it doesn't matter what is a question, because answers always the same. Incomprehensible.
Do we take football too seriously? Is there enough fun in the game?
No doubt about it. That's exactly what I'm just saying, But knowing so many words, of course. Of course there is fun. Like a Sun's newspaper fantasy league, What laugh that gives, they rated Tosh McKinley at value of 350,000. That's funny, no? Igor's been like a breath of fresh air wafting through Trinidad. But you see what he's like. He'll never be my successor.
As United's #1 spokesman?
No. As United's #1 moaning face. But, it's not all jokery-pokery. There is serious side to all this, Like do enough in a season so you qualify to get knocked out in first round of European competition. Huh? Oh, yes. Ivor has been very shrewd in the transfer market. Did you know that he was telling me Jerry Nixon's value has just gone up another 2 million? Who is Jerry Nixon anyway?
He's your left winger.
Oh, right. Him that runs about with the puffy gloves on.
Finally, Ivan, what has surprised you most about Scottish football?
Oh, well, yeah, for sure, Just a few weeks ago, I hear a charity event, a referee rolled down his trouser leg, That surprised me. I thought Scottish referee more used to roll up trouser leg,
Right, aprons off, and let's get down to what Extra Wine is all about. Slabbering over Rangers. Walter, recently ex-Celt, and let's not forget it, Tommy Burns, said Scottish football could end up like the Irish League. I mean, what a cheeky bosom, Walter? Anyway, Walter, what about Big Mark? He buys a new jacket, he buys a copy of the big issue, his dad visits him, and he eats pasta. Just some of the big important stories that have been featured this year in the official Rangers magazine, The Daily Record. The question is, Walter, Big Mark, he's brilliant, isn't he?
Mostly. Mark's had a particularly good season. He's been scoring goals as fast as the Scotsport cameras can miss them.
I was speaking to Coyce the other day, and what a character. He was a bit down. In fact, I'm not trying to shop him, but he said that he felt humiliated. What's up, boss? Have you freed him?
Nah, it's worse than that. It's just time to pose with Broxy Bear in the programme.
By the way, Walter, why was Andy Gorham dressed as Broxy Bear at the last Old Firm game of the season?
Because it's the only thing that we've got that fits him.
Walter, I have to say, for my money, too many people have brought shame to the great name of Rangers, naming no one in particular, but Gordon Jury, going out with a Celtic supporter.
Well, obviously, you know, it has been, in particular, you know, a particularly difficult year for us. Yeah, it'd be right to say, you know, the club has had various traumas to deal with. In particular, long-term injuries, indiscipline, on and off the field. And most serious of all, you know, the Duchess of Kent becoming a Catholic.
Anyway, Walter, yet another great season with the promise of more to come. I have to say, Walter, thanks to you, it really is great being a proddy.
And finally, Jerry, I have to ask you, because we've got 30 seconds to kill, World Cup USA, who do you fancy to win it?
Well, in a word, if Germany had been based in New York, I'd have gone for them because star striker Jurgen Klinsmann would feel so at home on Broadway. But I go for Brazil.
Brazil? So, Jerry, you're going for the yellow cow and beefs?
Yes. But before we go, on behalf of all of us on Scott Sport Extra Wine, we'd like to say good luck and best wishes to the Republic of Ireland.
Sure, Jerry.
Hello. Well, we're into week 11 of a quite superb West of Glasgow Indoor Bowls Championship. And don't forget our Bull of the Tournament competition, with the chance to win something to do with bowls. And we can see that now. Can we? No, we can't. Oh, never mind, because we've now reached the quarter-final stage, and let me tell you, the atmosphere is quite electric as we await the arrival of those first quarter-finalists, Rangers. Oh, no. Who gives that to us? So, we've just a couple of minutes before the action begins, so let's go live by satellite to Chick Young in America for the first of his special World Cup reports. Chick, is the situation out there in the United States as exciting as it is here tonight in Millport?
Yes, Dougie, this is CY in NY. Manhattan, to be exact, sitting exactly in the spot where the white man stood many moons ago and bought this place from the local Algonquin tribe for a mere $24 worth of trinkets. Surely the worst transfer deal on record, if we forget about Tony Cascarino's move to Celtic.
And how are the people of America taking the fact that Scotland haven't qualified?
Totally unbelievable sadness, Dougie. The people are coming up to me in the street and saying, "You're Scottish, you're great, we love you, we wish you were here, it's a great pity you're not, we blame Roxburgh, Farry must go, your shortbread is superb."
Homesick yet, Chick?
Not homesick at all, Dougie. In fact, I was lying in my bed back at the hotel last night, and amidst the unique New York City sounds, I could hear a lone voice giving it Billy Boys. And that, I can tell you, gave me a warm glow.
Well, I know what you mean, Chick. Speak clearly. Well, now it's back to the bowling. Can we? No, we can't. Yes, we can. Welcome to Millport. If you've just tuned in, don't worry. You're not missing any of the exciting bowls action. We've got our special World Cup correspondent, Chick Young, standing by in America, where unfortunately, well, we're having a bit of trouble with our sound link up. And I'm just wondering, have you got it yet, Chick?
No, Dougie, but there was this bird in the hotel bar last night and...
I meant the sound link up, Chick.
Oh, right. Yes, Dougie, hearing you totally loud and clear, even although I'm quite literally 10 million miles away in New York, the city of angels. Hooray for Hollywood. Oh, hold on, Dougie. I think it's another one of those earthquakes we've been getting, scoring a quite sensational 8.4 on the Richter scale.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. In 1994 at World Cup USA, could this request come back to haunt America?
You can't get Radio Glide here.
Hello? Hello, St. Patrick's Cathedral?
Yes, I wonder, can you tell me at what time your masses are at?
You don't do loyal burgers.
Oh no, I don't think I'll be able to make mass. I wonder, do you do home delivery communions by any chance?
I didn't come here with a supporters club, you know. I came by my own accordion to support my country, Holland.
So, what part of Holland do you come from?
Blackhall. And it is a great personal sacrifice to myself that I am here because if Holland reach a final, I'll miss a walk.
Get a big issue. 50 pence to help the homeless. 50 cents to help the homeless. Get a big issue.
I can see a wee history lesson is going for here, right? Okay, now listen, it's dead simple, right? Right, a long time ago there was like the Pope, right? And he was a Catholic. You know, they were all Catholics then, you know. But I mean, they were, you know. Yeah. But, right, Henry VIII, he said, no way, because he's burdened that, you know. But I mean, you know, there was James and the Pope, and they were given it that, right? But, King William, who was not a poof, by the way, not a poof, right? He and his pal Martin Luther said, right, that is it, no more. So they had a fight, right? Well, no with ourselves, right? But they fought, you know, the Pope and that, and they beat the bit. And they won, right? At a battle of the point. So it's because of that, well, that there's a world and like religious freedom and that, you know. I mean, naturally I'm simplifying things, but can I get a gist of it, no?
If Ireland get put out, well, I think I'll support Morocco, because I quite like getting miraculous.
I think I know what you're talking about. The Orange Walk?
I'm what? Yes.
But isn't this just an anti-Catholic demonstration of provocative triumphalism and, well, basic bigotry?
Well, there's no much point in doing it if it isn't.
I don't know if you can see us, but the taxis are yellow. And I think that's really nice, that, because, well, I have a taxi myself back home in Glasgow. You might have seen it. It's a black one.
Having nailed my colours well and truly to the mace, I would have to say, though, that I have nothing against the Roman menace, per se. I just don't like their indoctrination. I mean, my son, if I ever get access again, will of course be forced to support Rangers, swear allegiance to the Lodge, learn to play the flute and join the Scottish Young Conservative Party. But once he's 21, he can decide for himself what he wants to be.
Right, so, first game, us versus the Italians. God, I hope the Holy Father will be alright, but me no supporting Italy. Nah, listen, he'll be fine, he'll be alright. He'll understand. After all, he is inflammable. Right, so that's in the 80s. It's the Saturday before the 9th Sunday after Palm Sunday, which is Friday the 24th, which is Mexico. Oh no, that's another good Tim country. Well, never mind, come on. Remember the Alamo. Right. And then it's on to the 28th, which is Norway, ya beauty. That's in the feast of St. John Ogilvie. Right, Protestant country too, Norway, but with John Ogilvie's help, the true faith will prevail. You know, it's great to come over here and forget about religion and just concentrate on the football.
Germany. Possibly super proud of Jurgen Klinsmann plays for. Greece. Do you ever want to? Nah, I don't like John Travolta. Saudi Arabia. Latin country, forget it. Sweden. Well, good shout. We have our people. Romania. Oh, no way. No, that's a capital Italy.
This is your first trip to the States. Impressed by what you see?
Oh yes, I mean, Giant Stadium, which is impressive. It's actually very impressive. Because, you see, it's what Cambuslang would have been like if it had happened. Which it was never going to, so it wouldn't have been anything like what it is here, because, well, it doesn't exist, and well, this does, you know.
Do you have a ticket?
No, I'll see if I can maybe just get a lift over.
Do you have money?
No, I'll see if I can maybe just get a job.
Do you have a work permit, a visa, a passport?
No, I see, the bloke that was hiding me in the oil drum on the way in, I mean, right, he said I didn't need any of them.
So you're an illegal alien?
I know. I'm a sellout man. Through and through.
I know a lot of the so-called soccer purists were against the finals being held here. But I'm all for it. And I've certainly been looking forward to the States. The state I'm in the plane going north. The state I'm in when I'm waking up in the cells. The state I'm in after the fight I started a baseball match.
Do you have any concerns over World Cup USA?
Aye. I'm a bit worried. Especially for the World Cup mascot, striker. It's a duck. And I'm feared the South Korean team might try to eat it.
I suppose it's because I'm here in America that I can take a more objective look at the crisis in Europe. And you know, I have to say it is worrying, isn't it? I mean, it could happen. You know, it actually could happen. And what would life be like if it did? I mean, would life be worth living? You know, if Rangers actually equal 9 in a row.
And if Holland don't win World Cup USA, who do you think will?
Scotland.
But Scotland haven't qualified.
Aye, but that's when Scotland are at their most dangerous. Everybody's written them off.
But is non-qualification any reason not to have a Scott Sport Extra Wine World Cup junket?
There did, in fact, I can exclusively reveal, used to be 3 baseball teams in New York. The Yankees, the Mets, and the Brooklyn Dodgers. However, in 1955, the Brooklyn Dodgers became the LA Dodgers when they moved to Los Angeles.
Interesting, Jerry. From New York to Los Angeles. That's just like Clyde moving from Sheffield to Cumbernauld. So, Jerry, what do you think about the crisis facing Scottish football?
What? Has Sport in Question got another series?
Actually, I was thinking more of how we fail to qualify, how the quality of our play is slipping, and how Glasgow Rangers Football Club are totally, absolutely dominating the scene. Even when they're crap, they're brilliant. Who's going to stop them as they sweep majestically onward to unparalleled levels of glory? And that just can't be good for the game, can it, Jerry? Of course, all true Scots are desperate to play in the World Cup finals. So much so that 2 of them, Owen Coyle and Tommy Coyne, are pretending to be Irish. And a third, Les Mottram, is pretending to be a referee.
Absolutely. And of course, should any difficulties arise, well, Big Les will just do what he always does. When in doubt, award a goal to Rangers.
Good sarcastic point, Jerry. Well, Jerry, 76,000 All-Cedar Stadium, free parking for over 10,000 cars. Not bad, eh?
Yeah, it's incredibly not bad. But the name, Giant Stadium. It's like the other venues here, and I'm thinking particularly of the Pontiac Silverdome, the Rose Bowl, RFK Stadium. These names just don't say football. They just don't have the magic of names like Boghead, Ochilview, Glebe Park, Cliftonville.
Good shout, Jerry.
Bury my heart at Wounded McNee. White men speak with forked tongue. Lawmen speak with 2 tongues.
World Cup USA. World Cup useless, I say, because, I mean, apart from the millions being pumped into the game and the billions of people who, you know, who will watch it on the telly and the thousands of kids who take up the game because of it, I can't think of one single benefit. I mean this, one single benefit in having the finals been held here in the American States of United, because, you know, I think it's very sad because only 20%, a paltry 20% of the population know it's happening. And you know what that is in figures, you know? Hey, Roddy, I tell you what it is in figures. It's nearly 60 million people, which is pathetic.
I'll tell you one thing about the Americans, Jerry. They really know how to put on a show.
Yes, indeed they do. In fact, I was, at the live coverage of the draw back in December, and all the great soccer names were there. Franz Beckenbauer, the Kaiser, Eusebio, the Black Panther, Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, David Hasselhoff, that's the big diddy out of Baywatch. And of course, Mickey Mouse was there too. So the SFA was represented.
Big Jack Charlton, well, my old mucker, Big Jack. Well, Big Jack is simply operated within the rules. For example, take the boy Coyne, it's Tom Coyle and Owen Coyne, or whatever the name is. Well, I mean, what's the problem? I mean, they were born on Irish soil. I suppose, though, technically speaking, Coatbridge isn't Scotland.
Of course, more than just a footballing event, it's a media footballing event too, isn't it, Jerry?
No doubt about it.
Some of the expected audience figures are unbelievable. I'm pure aghast, so I am. For example, the final is expected to draw an audience of 2 billion. That's nearly as much as we get in Call Jim White.
And when you consider that the '93 Super Bowl pulled a mere 750 million, it gives you some idea of the power of football.
Not to mention the power of Call Jim White.
Well, the Irish are going to need the luck of the Welsh if they're going to qualify for the later stages, but let's take a look at the opposition they're up against. Now, the Italians. Well, the Italians are just very fortunate because they happen to play in Italy. If the Italians were Albanians playing in Albany, then they wouldn't be so good.
And of course, Jerry, for the opening night concert, there will be a mega broadcast. But you've got news of a major disappointment on that score, haven't you, Jerry?
Yes. I, in fact, can exclusively reveal that Christian will not be appearing at the That's a cruel blow for the man who sang a bit of I Had a Dream back in 1982.
That's shocking, Jerry. And of course, on the eve of the final, another big do, right, Jerry?
Yeah, correct. A concert starring Pavarotti, Domingo, and Carreras. It promises to be quite a night for the three tenors.
Quite a night indeed, Jerry. And a bargain to boot. 3 tenors, that's just 30 quid to see, let's face it. 3 of the best. I wonder if they'll sing Billy Boys.
Mexico. Well, my old mate Pele, he predicted that within the next 2,000 years, an African nation would win the World Cup. Mexico could be that nation.
So this is the famous Central Park.
Looks like it.
So where exactly do Cowdenbeath actually play, Jerry?
Norway, well, Norway are a bit of an unknown quantity, unless you happen to know all about them.
Even here, however, thoughts of Scotland and domestic doings are never far away.
St. Patrick's Cathedral. Pretty impressive, huh? Yeah, but the real reason I'm here is because Lou McCarry has told me we need to sign a big bustling centre forward, and I think I've found the very guy. So, tell me, what's your asking price?
Yeah, top-class players are good investment. Rangers, for example, have spent £4 million on Duncan Ferguson. He's already started to pay that back, mostly in fines. Well, personally, I was surprised when Rangers signed Duncan. Tactically, I didn't think they'd be leaving a big, simple punt up the park. Then they went out and signed one.
But let me assure all of Celtic's loyal stay-away fans that the first steps have been taken to bring an end to Rangers' 6-in-a-row championship winning run. I've reported them to the Monopolies Commission.
Right. Would you like to sign for Celtic? Okay, let me know when you do, right? Glasgow is a 100% 24 hours a day footballing city, so it's kind of nice to get away to the relative peace and quiet of New York, yeah?
I can, man. I think you're doing for the club's tremendous.
Nice to meet the two of you.
Yeah. Ask not what my country can do for me. Ask what can I do for my country to improve the standards of football, because let's forget about not qualifying for this sham, right? And let's concentrate on the Eurovision Championships. Once again, we're going to be in amongst the big boys. The Faroe Islands, the mighty Finland, and, well, my old pal from my days back in Torino, wee San Marino.
Bagel, Jerry?
No.
Can I get one?
No. You won't eat your dinner.
I will eat my dinner.
No, you're not getting one.
Look, you're not my dad, Jerry.
No, but I am chief sports editor.
Big worry, Jerry.
A prediction. A World Cup prediction. All right. I'll give you a prediction, right? I'll give you a prediction, and it's this. In the World Cup final, right? In the final, whoever's playing, whoever the teams are, in the final, 20 seconds after the kickoff, the commentators will be talking about England.
A man was arrested today trying to steal lead from the roof of St. Patrick's Cathedral. The man, who described himself as a true blue Scots Dutchman, was later named as Boyne Schoenberg Syme from Lark Hall. At the prisoner's request, he was charged under his adopted Lakota Sioux name of dances with flutes. Meanwhile, police have set up roadblocks in the Lower East Side in an attempt to stop a yellow cab driver who has apparently gone berserk, driving on the wrong side of the road, shouting at other drivers, and completely ignoring traffic signals. The driver has also been picking up unsuspecting passengers, then boring them to death with his stories. Police who have issued this photo say the man is dangerous and should not be approached.
Our beautiful game has been sacrificed on an altar of Dash. And this is the Temple of Doom. Welcome to Soccer Babylon.